Do you like stupid, mindless fun? Because if you do, then Far Cry 6 might be the game for you. Fans of the series and casual gamers will find a lot to like about Ubisoft's new first-person shooter. However, if you're looking for something revolutionary in the open-world genre, then you might be a little disappointed. The game is fun, no doubt about it. Just don't expect to find anything here you haven't seen before in other first-person shooters. Here's my review of Far Cry 6 for PlayStation 5. As I sat down to write this review, I thought to myself, did I play this game enough? Maybe I should go back and get more gameplay footage. And then it dawned on me, this video would never get done if I did that. For those familiar with the Far Cry series, you'll know these games are massive. The 6th main installment is no exception. Taking place on the fictional Caribbean island of Yara, it's considered to be the largest Far Cry game to date. One look at the map and I'd have to agree. This is one of those games where you could spend hours playing and still accomplish nothing. Side activities are plentiful, but there's nothing that particularly stands out to me. Most of them are standard fare when it comes to open world games. Hunting for supplies and resources are a given by now. Driving, parachuting, there's even a wingsuit you can use to get around. You've got your typical fishing minigame, which I will admit can be quite relaxing. There's a game of dominoes you can play, which I guess is something I've never seen before in a video game. And then there's the cockfighting, which I thought was pretty interesting. You can tell they put a lot of work into that one. Now, I'm not saying I condone cockfighting, but I think it's hilarious how some people can be okay with a game that allows you to shoot and kill innocent people, but still flip out over two chickens fighting. It's a video game. Get over it. The game doesn't break any new ground with the extra side activities, but there are a lot to choose from, so you're bound to find something you like. Of course, if there's nothing that interests you, then there is one redeeming quality about Far Cry 6 I think everyone can agree on. It's the one area which I think the game truly excels in, and the reason why I think gamers keep coming back to this franchise. The gunplay. Far Cry 6 has some of the tightest shooting I've ever played in a first-person shooter. Everything about it just feels good. Weapons are responsive, and there's a certain satisfaction you get from each successful kill. The weight of the gun, coupled with the excellent sound design, really does heighten the experience. There's an arsenal of weapons to choose from, offering countless ways to dispose of the opposition. You can tackle combat any way you like, either by stealth or going guns blazing. Mission objectives can range anywhere from securing an enemy base, destroying drug plantations, to rescuing hostages held captive in a tanker. There's also a mission where you have to protect a giant rooster from being mauled by experimental attack dogs. You know, typical open world stuff. It's nothing you haven't seen before, but when everything comes together, boy, is it exhilarating. Shootouts can literally take place anywhere, on land or sea, indoor as well as out in the open while you're walking down the street. There's a camera phone which you can use to prioritize your targets before heading into enemy territory, but honestly, let's be real. Ain't nobody got time for that. I ran in through the front door every single time and I never regretted it. Although I will admit, those silent takedowns are pretty cool and pretty violent. The way the knife goes through the guy's head is just wow. You even get animal friends that accompany you on each mission as well. Each one offers different perks that cater to your playstyle.
Good boy. Chicharrón. Bad bird.
New to Far Cry 6 are Supremos. I always think of hoagies when I hear that. Luckily, the Supremo isn't a hoagie in this game. Instead, there's super weapon backpacks that can unleash a special attack. There's quite a few to choose from, each one offering a different attack or function. I think my favorite is the one that sends out homing missiles. Used more as a last resort to get out of tight situations, its inclusion doesn't change the gameplay all that much in my opinion. Nevertheless, it's a welcome addition I think fans will enjoy. One area that's different this time around is the upgrade system. There's no skill tree system this time around. Instead, abilities are now attached to armor and weapon mods. It's alright, but I found the UI a little clunky. Constantly going in and out of the menu felt tedious and kinda confusing. As I said before, the game is massive. Fortunately, you're given lots of ways to move around the map. You can ride on a horse, which felt nauseating as heck the first time I tried it. Driving, Parachuting, helicopter, plane, pretty much anything you can think of is in the game. There's also a tank in there somewhere too. My only complaint here is early on you're gonna find yourself sitting in the car a lot since fast travel options won't be available to you yet. Fortunately, the game looks amazing, so at least you'll be able to appreciate the scenery as you travel to your destination. Sporting a tropical setting, Far Cry 6 consists of beautiful skies, all rendered with volumetric clouds and a more realistic color tone. Picturesque scenery that makes you wish you were actually there. The ocean looks gorgeous as well. There's water deformation as you swim to the surface, helping to give off a more natural look. When you're not near the water, jungles contain dense vegetation, as you can see with its deep dark greens. Finally, a game that shows you what next gen, or should I say current gen, is all about. As a whole, the world of Far Cry 6 feels a lot more physically interactive. Fire spreads as you torture enemies, and there's a great deal of environmental destruction, evident by the amount of stuff you can run over with your car. On PlayStation 5, the game runs at a dynamic 4K resolution, targeting 60 FPS. Pixel count seems to hover between the 1728p and 1872p. During my playthrough, I noticed very few frame drops, which is impressive considering the amount of stuff happening on screen. There is, however, something that occurred a few too often, especially when driving. Something I thought I would never see again. Screen tearing. Yup, it's there, but fortunately it isn't too distracting. I think it's something that can be fixed with a future patch. Overall, Far Cry 6 on PlayStation 5 looks amazing. If you took out all the shooting and explosions, this would be the ideal vacation spot. The big bad guy running the show this time is Anton Castillo. I'm pretty sure you've seen his face everywhere by now. A vengeful and murderous dictator hell-bent on creating something that could possibly cure cancer at the cost of enslaving and killing his own people. A tale of oppression and revolution which I found quite interesting. The cutscenes are top-notch, but I wish there was more of them. There just seems to be too much of a grind to get to the story, which is my biggest complaint about Far Cry 6. It takes too long to get started. The game didn't really click for me until about 10 hours in. Before that, I kept wondering, what's so great about this game? As I said before, Far Cry 6 is massive, and it may take a while for you to get a handle on all the gameplay mechanics, especially more so if you're new to the franchise. If you're a veteran, then you'll be right at home. The game doesn't break any new ground, nor is it trying to. It's a beautiful open-world sandbox game that has everything but the kitchen sink. Did I use that phrase right? There's plenty to do, so you'll definitely get your money's worth. Far Cry 6 doesn't do anything revolutionary, but what it does well. The visuals are gorgeous and the gunplay is fun, even if the side activities can start to appear routine. Now, if you enjoyed this video and want to see more PlayStation 5 content, click the links on the screen or the ones that are pinned down below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.